What's good, YouTube? Car Fight King here. AQUA Life Baby, you already know. And like I said in the last video, I'm going to give you a quick tournament report for the DMV Dynasty Cup, in which I got top 8 with my trusty old AQUA Life, the Voss Aqua 4 Stride build. And a little advertisement, guys. DMV Dynasty Cup is the largest tournament series in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. Due to the fact that we do not get any Bushiroad events, and we rarely see ARG events in our area, so the DMV Dynasty Cup series is the closest we're going to get to some sort of national exposure for us as a competitive car fight Vanguard and buddy fight community. But it's always hosted by my boy Juan Mango, and tournaments are good. Now, we are having an ARG in Frederick, Maryland at Tournament City Games on Saturday the 24th. I'm not too sure if I'm going yet. I might have to work, but I will let you guys know if I am going, sometime this week. But yeah, as far as the tournament goes, going into the tournament, guys, I felt as if, the meta is going to be different. Playing the Virginia meta previously, I was expecting mostly Bermuda Triangles, Genesis, a lot of Angel Feathers and whatnot, but it was actually a very, very, very diverse tournament. A lot of people going to big tournaments. Now, this was a 58-man tournament. Now, a lot of people going into these tournaments think that Royals and Shadows, blah blah blah, but that actually wasn't the case. There was a good bit of Royals, but there was barely any Shadows. But there was a ton of Brawlers and Dimension Police and Angel Feathers. Brawlers, Dimension Police, and Angel Feathers were probably the most played decks there. I know me and 2 others were playing Aqua Force. I can't say, I don't know if anyone else was, but there was but it was just me and 2 others playing Aqua Force. Yeah, so it was just pretty much it was Dimension Police and Brawler rampant there at the Cup, with some Angel Feathers. Oh, Mega Colony showed up a few times. Gears were there as well. So we had a very, very diverse meta there for the Cup. Now, as far as my rounds go, guys, round 1, I played against Sanctuary Guard. I was able to win that match 2-0, pretty much in the same fashion. Was able to control the board effectively and execute my plays and get Lambros to go off. Usually finish them on the first one. Round 2, I played against Brawlers. As you guys know, I played against my little brother. He, I play against him all the time, so I know Brawlers inside and out. And I always talk about us having some short field combos, making the most of a small field, preparing for them to blow it up, but then always having a backup plan for these types of decks. So was able to prepare for that effectively. I won 2-1. Game 1, he completely obliterated me in. Early game pressure, couldn't do much. Then games 2 and 3 pretty much went the same way. I got some really good triggers early on. Game 3 he was able to cross ride, but I was able to I just had a lot of pressure on the board, and he wasn't, and his damage checks weren't when he triggers. He was damage checking his Knuckle Busters and Slash Dragons and whatnot. So he didn't really have too many rear guards to call out. And then my next round, round 3, I played against Brawlers again. This time it was pretty much, I won 2-0. My opponent did early game rush me. I did take some damage, but personally for me, I'm not a big fan. I don't play that grade 2 game. I don't hate it. I don't care about it. I'm just not one to play the grade 2 game. I still value twin driving. And so I did go into grade 3. I counter rushed him back, and I was able to again control the board effectively, manage my hand, manage what was on my field despite it getting blown up, and came out with the win. And then my round 4, I played against my boy David from I Am Vanguard. He was playing his Sanctuary Guard Royals. Now, the difference between the one I played in round 1 and round 4, round 1, my opponent was playing Garmore Snowgle. He was running that engine, rather than having Sword Meat, because I know Sword Meat is like a $25 card, $30 card now. He used the Garmore engine, to get out the Snowgle. Snowgle, you have multiple copies of Snowgle in the back row. They get like 1,000 power for each copy, or whatever the case may be. So he played that kind of version. Poor man's sword because Garmor drops one from him, but it saves you on counter blast. But he was still playing like the 12k attacker and the twin sword. But boy, David from my Vanguard, he's running the sword me engine one. So both of them actually went. I beat him 2-1. Pretty much game 1 and game 2, both Saki on his end, Saki on my end. With trigger checks, and then game 3 just came down to the wire. I was able to hit a draw trigger on 5. When I took his sword me attack at 28, I was able to perfect guard his Regalier, and then I was able to just use a small amount of my hand to block the rest of his attacks, and he was already pushed to 5 damage, so I was able to go into my final Lambros and take the game. And then round 5 is where everything started to go downhill, guys. And this, like I talked about in my build, I played Dimension Plates, I played Metalborgs. I played the player who eventually won the entire event. He went undefeated with his Metalborgs. Anyway, it was just a pure Metalborg deck. And pretty much the gist of game 1, I was able to hit him with Lambros, but he had a key heal trigger on 5. And I had perfect guards in hand, and I could have definitely blocked his turn, but he went into Heavy Duke, and because Heavy Duke also restricts you from guarding with grade 1s, I did not have enough triggers in my hand. I had to give him. I threw down 4. I was able to only throw down 41. I can only afford a 1 to pass, and he got the trigger. Then he got and I was at 4 damage. He got the restand with Laurel. Because he opened up with Laurel. Laurel was on the board all game, and that was that. And then game 2 again, he opened up grade 2 with Laurel, and I was stuck at 2. I had just nothing but triggers and perfect guards in my hand, and G assisting would have hurt me rather than help me in those type of situations. But the grade 2 game was impossible, but he was also playing Black Boy the starter, so he could have legioned regardless of what it was. So overall, it was just a complete beatdown that game. And what I wish I had done, guys, differently was play Pashkol, because I could have prevented a few attacks on my rear guard from his Vanguard. Due to what my hand was, I could have prevented some attacks if I was able to use my perfect guard. And what I learned from that matchup was that you got to use your perfect guards early and often, keep your damage low, and when they start going into Sin Buster and Metal and Heavy Duke and whatnot, save up your zeros, as best you can, because if they do hit and they have Laurel on board, they're restanding with guard manipulation, and that's not what you want to happen. But yeah, so lost that. I got 2-0. Then round 6, final round, I played against my boy Edward Leon. He was playing with Mega Colonies. He was playing Dark Face with the Mega Colony Break Ride. And guys, Mega Colony is dangerous. I wanted to get a deck profile of him, but I was in my tournament mode feelings kind of thing. And but that deck was really good. He's an amazing player. I love playing him. I'm getting my rematch in January when you come up to Chibi, right, bro? But it was a very good 3-game set. Game 1, he pretty much controlled my board. I wasn't able to do too much, and I think he got a crit and a stand for the win. Game 2, I went to Lambros. He was on 2 damage. He only checked 1 trigger, but I had a really nice plays with High Tide and Tidal Assault. I hit a crit trigger, and High Tide was pretty much like 5k out of his range of being able to block that last attack, so we had to take 6. And then game 3 pretty much came down to him break riding Dark Face and stunning my Vanguard. And I perfect guarded, but he stunned my Vanguard. I didn't have a grade 3 in hand to ride, so I had to work around Darkface's skill, because he plays the Mega Colony card that soul charges when you call it out if you have a Mega Colony Vanguard, and I had to play around him, pretty much resting my rear guards twice because he had 4 soul with Darkface at GB2. So it was a very difficult play I made, but I was able to at least block and force out half of his hand somewhat. Using my limited amount of hand, but then, on his turn, I was at 4 damage. He checked a crit on Dark. I had enough to intercept his attack on that side, but he checked a crit, and I have nothing much I could do. He called his whole hand out. He checked a crit, nothing I can do. And then top 8, I played against Bermuda Triangle. I lost 1-2. It pretty much came down to game 1. I was able to take it, controlling the board effectively again, and going to Lambros for the kill, was able to whittle down his hand quite a bit. But then in game two, he had a lot. He had pretty much everything. He had a lot of the draw combos. Having draw triggers in Bermuda doesn't help my cause because he was building up a really sizable hand and was able to block a lot of stuff. But he was also hitting some key triggers on the defense. But and then in game three, I opened up. It was one of those. It was the worst opening hand all day. I mean, I was opening up pretty terrible all day, but I was able to top deck some things and salvage it. But this was the worst one. I opened up like with a 1, 2, 3, and then double, and then like double triggers. I had to ride a perfect guard, and then I drew into more perfect guards. And I want to see perfect guards early and often, but not that early in the games because you can't really do too much with them. And so I wanted to ride into max, but I was trying to see, well, maybe I can fish for a stride enabler, or maybe I can fish for just another grade 3 so I have something to stride, because I could ride max and get a twin drive off. But in that instance, I didn't take my own advice and just went to grade 3 and see how it played out there. I didn't, and for literally 5 straight turns, guys, and you can even ask the spectators watching, every turn I drew for my opening draw for my turn, it was 4 crit triggers and a heal trigger for my draws. And I'm one, if I could go back, I would ride max and I would twin drive, and I would probably get a lot of I probably hit a good amount of triggers and force a lot of damage on him. Even though he would be able to stride, I was going to hit a good amount of triggers just being on max. So and he had everything. He had he was hitting his draw triggers. He was seeing his rear guards, and it was just everything just went wrong for me and right for him that game. But overall, I am happy I made top 8. At the same time, I'm not happy I just made top 8. Obviously, I was the previous champion of the Dynasty Cup, and now I'm just another top 8 finisher. It is what it is, but congratulations to the guy who won with Metal Borgs. And I think his name was Hampton Terry, I believe it is. Hampton Terry playing Metal Borgs. Congratulations. But for me personally, guys, I'm not liking it. I want to finish first. I want to win. It's like this is the event that I practice for and everything. And so like in all sports competitions, guys, there's only one person that's happy. At the end of the day, there's only one person that's truly happy, and that's the person who gets first place. That's the one who beats everybody and who claims the top prize. And so for me, it's a bit bittersweet. Yes, I made top 8. Yes, that's pretty good, but at the same time, I'm not happy with myself. I have a lot of things to work on with my build, as far as preparing for bigger tournaments, preparing, my deck list and everything. And yes, the AquaForce Clan Booster is coming out by the time we'll have it. But for right now, guys, I got to work on my build. I got to work on my play strategies and things like that. And just putting the work to get better and come back a little bit stronger, especially when I go to locals. Again, still take my same approach to locals. Practice how you play. I play competitively. I play for these big events, and so I practice like I'm going to a big events. And locals, I take no differently than the Dynasty Cup. I take it as a serious competition where I want to stand in the #1 spot. But that's just me, guys. But yeah, that's the end of the tournament report, guys. I will be doing a video on Angry Boil and Tetra Boil because I'm so excited. And the crit trigger, oh my gosh, I was screaming AQUA Life all at the cup. But definitely look for a video on those, as well as a discussion video on my take on the grade 2 game. Now, I'll say this: I don't hate the grade 2 game. I respect it as a strategy for what you want to play, but it's something that is not in my playbook. Pretty much, it's just something that's not in my playbook. But if I'm forced to if I'm forced to play that game, then I will do it to the best of my ability. All right, but it's Cardfight King. I'm out. Peace.